Welcome back to another episode of Psycosmos. I'm joined by Coach Richard.
Hello, everyone.
This is Coach Matt. We are certified spiritual life coaches. If you're interested in working with us, go check the links down below. Today, we wanted to talk about some upcoming workshops that we have, and the main one that we want to discuss is a brand new free workshop that we're going to be doing, hopefully monthly, if it turns out positive. This is something that was actually requested by a ton of you wonderful ladies in the comments. We're going to be doing a totally free workshop every single month, hopefully every single month moving forward. It's going to be about 2 hours long, and the next one is going to be on March 30th. Now, the goal of this workshop is to find out intricate details surrounding the mystery of the sacred secretion, kundalini, greater mitosis cycle within the female body. This has been something that we've discussed on our channel before. You can go and check out the other videos that we have discussing this. Basically, just giving you guys the quick gist of it, it seems like there's a lot of contention surrounding the female sacred secretion cycle. There's a lot of people saying do the moon and the sun sign method. However, that's not working for a lot of women, and a lot of women are coming to guys like us, and we're working with a lot of clients, a lot of spiritual life coaches, even female life coaches, who are telling us that they're experimenting and they're realizing that there is some gaps in this knowledge. And it makes sense, because when you go and you do the research, as we've discussed again in these other videos, you can go check them out on our channel. As we've realized in a lot of ways, almost every single person who writes about this topic is a male, especially anything from like the 1950s or prior. It's almost entirely exclusively male, and most of this wisdom comes from male-dominated secret societies, such as like Freemasonry. So what we really wanted to do was we wanted to have an open invitation and an extension, a very safe place for women to come and to discuss these processes. And the last thing I'll say before I pass it over to Rich, because Rich also wants to share his personal perspective on how we should really be structuring this. This is with a 2-hour window, we're going to be capping it at about 20 people. We already have 5 people signed up, 3 of which are women that we've actually worked very, very closely with. One is a spiritual life coach herself, and then the other 2 are wonderful, wonderful girls who are really focused on trying to get better answers. So we want to say thank you to all of the people who've signed up already. We love you guys so, so much. This is going to be very groundbreaking and game-changing for the world, because unlocking this secret of the female body and how it functions, especially in regards to this kundalini, sacred secretion, Christos oil, greater mitosis cycle. We've called it a million different names. In relation to the menstruation or ovulatory cycle of the female body, we're starting to realize there's a lot of patterns here, and because of all of you wonderful ladies, we're getting to better answers. So the last thing I'll say before I pass it over to Rich is mainly, we're not looking for people to kind of come and share 30 minutes of kind of spieling about all their little very intricate details. We need a lot of data. The data is going to be the most important, and Rich can fill you in on why that's so important too.
So the main goal is we want to discuss with women in a way that's both makes them feel safe and comfortable and heard, and to get a read on their experience, but we also want to do it in a way that's somewhat scientific. So as Matt was saying, we're really interested in the data. So it's not to dismiss the subjective or emotional experience, because that's also a really important part of going through any amount of this information. But the main focus of it is calculating like specific instances where you experience these things in your menstrual cycle. And the best way to do that is to speak very openly and frankly about this, because we're all adults. This is a normal, natural process of the female body. There's a lot of like wisdom, and there's a lot of spiritual wisdom that's been drawn and reflected in stories and myths and stuff having to do with the menstrual cycle. So because of that, we want to talk about it openly, frankly, as adults, and part of that is just being very upfront and asking questions about specific phases that you encounter these experiences, when you notice you experience these phases, if you've been on birth control and how much, not as a judgment, but as just a recognition that by definition, what birth control tends to do, especially oral contraception, is interfere with the natural hormonal cycle of the body, which is in part why we think we've been experiencing so many women coming forward and saying things like this doesn't match with this, or I don't experience this when the moon is in this sign, or I experience it at this phase of my menstrual cycle as opposed to my friend who experiences at this phase of their menstrual cycle. So the overarching point is the best way to sort through all this information and to create a cohesive system for women to use is to talk to women, because you guys are literally the most immediate source of information about the experiences of going through the menstrual cycle. So that's the side of it. And then the other side of it that's very important for making a comprehensive system is trying to find ways to take those experiences from individual women and track them out in some form of data so that we can apply it to other women in a somewhat I won't say scientific, but somewhat scientific, more consistent pattern. So that's really the whole goal of the workshop, is to create a cohesive system that other women and other individuals can use. And as Matt said too, it's primarily for women because we're interested in the female experience in regards to the sacred secretion cycle. But this is also equally helpful for men. So if you know women who are interested in this, or if you are a man yourself and you're more interested in actually understanding the divine feminine, I think that that's only going to be a benefit towards you guys.
That's right.
Because the balancing of those two forces is the entire point of the sacred secretion process.
Yes, and to also to capitalize on what he just said, to make it perfectly clear, if you are a male, especially for the both of us, our goal is just going to be to outline exactly what we're discussing in the very initial beginning of this workshop, and then we just want to be hands off. We want to give you guys that space to be able to open up and explore all of the different ways that you guys have experienced this. Some of you are going to be saying different things. The biggest thing that I think we all need to keep in mind is no one person's subjective or personal experience is more powerful or supersedes another's. That's going to be something that I think we really need to hone in on. So really, at the end of the day, just be very concise. Come with a good list where you can maybe speak for like 5 to 10 minutes about your personal experiences and maybe even your own theories and any information that you've seen in your own stratosphere as you've lived your life that maybe we have not discussed. If there's something that we have not maybe brought up, that would be really, really helpful for us too. So just be concise with exactly your intentions and what exactly you're trying to get across. No one woman's experience is going to be more or less subjective or important than in others, but we do need to get down to brass tacks, and like Rich said, we need to really be heavily focused on more of the data approach to this, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to solve this mystery. Because I'll just be really open and frank, there have been tons of times where we've had conversations with women at in-person events, and there seems to be like this misconception where and I'm sure plenty of you women have experienced this, where some women think that their experiences are maybe more or less important than others, and it's not a matter of being more or less important. Don't be overly zealous in your approach, and don't be overly insecure in your approach. Your experiences are just as important as everybody else's, so let's give everybody that semblance of respect and kindness. The best way to do that, just be concise. If we're going to be blocking this out for 2 hours, just come to speak for roughly about 5 to 10 minutes about your specific experience. If we don't fill the whole room of 20 people, then you can have more time to speak. But we need data. We need really practical ways of kind of conceptualizing this. And even if you have, if you could, maybe track your cycle and see when you've been experiencing these things comparatively, last couple months or years or however long you've been doing this process, that would also be a great help too. We don't need to see the data itself. We just need to kind of hear what exactly your personal theories are and your personal experiences. So again, this is specifically for women. We really appreciate all of you guys, seriously. And then real quick, I just want to talk about 2 other workshops that we have coming up. One is going to be on April 1st. It's going to be centered around the solar eclipse that we're going to... What? Yeah.
Is it really going to be on
April 1st on April Fool's Day. come ready to talk about the eclipse. Come ready to be very open with learning more about all of the brand new things that you can be looking forward to, because this is going to be pretty powerful. It's not going to really, I don't think it's going to be as scary as a lot of people have been saying. Even if some crazy shit happens, at the end of the day, we really just need to stand together as a society, as one human race, and we just need to kind of combat whatever evils may kind of show their face. I think when I say evils, I'm specifically talking about anything that could be exposed in the media or the politics, and I think that's really where this is going to hit heavily the most. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the eclipse and how to better prepare for that, the way that we're going to be preparing for that, come join our workshop. That one is not free, but you can feel free to go check out the information. It's on our website. And then we also have another workshop, a lecture series coming up with our friend Widows Miho from Gnostic Pope on TikTok. Go check that out on our website as well. That one is going to be after the eclipse, which is, I believe, April 13th. I don't remember the exact date, but I think it's like April 13th. So go check that one out too on our workshop. But we hope to see all of you lovely ladies there. We love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Any recommendations, any suggestions. If you're looking to work with us as spiritual life coaches, or you're looking to get certified, or if you just want some readings, go check us out as well on our shop on teampsycosmos.org. We love you guys.
We'll see you there.